So on offense, I think sometimes that's important, and I think it's important to have playmakers and skilled players who can make a difference in making explosive plays.
Coach Dave Cartoonin from 7 News in Miami. In the past, you've been quoted as saying, the best way to disrespect someone is to just walk away from them. By your own definition, do you feel like you disrespected the Dolphins organization or their fans, and is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Well, I think that the 2 years I was in Miami that I affected the team in a positive way. I mean, we were a 4-12 team that was $17 million over the salary cap, and I think even though the misfortunes of this season, whether it's Ricky Williams' suspension, Dante Culpepper not being able to play because of his knee injury, Ronnie Brown getting hurt halfway through the season when he was starting to roll well, whatever those misfortunes were, we came up a little bit short in how many games that we won. But I think the team is closer to being successful now, and I think that the salary cap is in much better condition, and I think they have all the draft choices, so they're better off than they were now. My commitment to that organization, and it was premature, you know, to not stay there. All right, but if I knew, and Wayne and I talked about this, that my heart was to go back to college, and I think everybody should understand that I wasn't going to take this job. All right, and I called Wayne on December 23rd when I went to the Miami Dolphins and said, I don't think I can do this. It's too emotional. I'm a college coach. I want to stay in college. And he came back on Christmas Eve the next morning and talked me into going. And I gave my best effort for 2 years to do that. And I think the organization and the team is better for that. And it was premature for me to leave, but at the same time, if I knew that my heart was someplace else in terms of what I wanted to do, I don't think it would have been fair to the organization if I stayed. And that's what Wayne and I talked about. We communicated, and we both kind of agreed that that would be the best thing that we could do. I want to hire the best staff that we possibly can, okay? And we've already started, you know, to hire some people. We've got some other people coming in, but I don't think hiring a staff is something that you really put a timetable on. When you're trying to get the best people, there's a process and a procedure that you have to go through, and we're not going to take shortcuts to hire somebody, because once you get married to them, you know, they're here, you know, you're with them. So I'd rather get the best people, do the due diligence that we have to do to get the best people, and then end up having the best quality of staff, recruiting staff, coaching staff, teaching staff we possibly can. So we want to do it as quickly as possible, but we also want to do it as efficiently and effectively as possible to get the best product.
Coach Cecil Hurst from the Tuscaloosa News. Just as a follow-up, when did you initially become aware that there was an opportunity at Alabama, and what was your initial emotional reaction upon hearing that?
Well, obviously the timetable for me was there was interest after Coach Shula was dismissed. I was in the season and said that I was not interested because my commitment and focus was to our team and our players to give them the best opportunity to win each week. And somebody else got hired, right? And that was fine. And then for a long time, nothing happened. And the assumption was made that there was some interest on my part. But I stayed focused to our team and what we needed to do each week to give our team the best chance to be successful. And I'm quite frankly proud that our team beat New England and played 2 really good football games against the Jets in Indianapolis, even though we came up short during that time. And that was my focus, and that was the process that I went through. Not until after the Indianapolis game did Jimmy tell me that there was an opportunity here, that people were interested in me here specifically, right? And that the possibility of me being the coach here did exist. And not until about 6 o'clock on Monday, after the Indianapolis game, did I decide to talk to Mal, talk to him on the phone. I never had a meeting with him, just talked to him on the phone. So that's kind of the sequence of events for me. That's the timetable. Terry and I decided after talking to Mal that we would think about this. We thought about it for a day and made a decision that this is where our heart was, and this is what we wanted to do. And it's a great challenge, a great institution, and we're certainly happy to be here.
Given that you have that sort of different coaching staff, relatively short amount of time, do you plan on staying 8
Well, let me just say this. My next stop, you know where Lake Burton is? It's in North Georgia, right on the North Carolina border, Raven County. Right? It's a lake. It's where they make deliverance. Alright, that's where I go in the summertime. That's where I like it. And that's my next stop. Alright, so as long as the people here are committed to trying to win, I'm going to want to be the coach here. And at some point in time, maybe somebody else can do it better. And if that time comes, that's where I'm going. Lake Burton. They don't have a football team there. We got a pontoon boat, though. Good one.
Coach Saban, Kirk McNair, Alabama Magazine. Did you have any conversations with any previous Alabama head coach? If so, could you share any of that?
Yes, I talked to Gene Stallings. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Stallings, who I know I've had a few stops along the way, but when I was the head coach at Michigan State, he spoke at our clinic. I knew him when he was in professional ranks as a secondary coach at Dallas, as well as the head coach at Arizona Cardinals. So then when I was at LSU, we had him speak at our clinic at LSU. So we had a history of talking ball, being around each other. When I got the Bear Bryant Award to be Coach of the Year, Coach Stallings was there, and we sat together with Kenny Stabler, and so we, there was some storytelling going on in that function. So I did think that after I talked to Mal on Monday or Tuesday, I don't know which day it was, I did talk to Coach Stallings and just ask his opinion of what he thought about this coaching opportunity. And he was very candid. We had a great discussion. He obviously had a tremendous amount of success here and won the national championship. And it was helpful to myself and Terry in making this decision.
Coach Tom Murphy, Mobile Press Register, right here. You've had some heated battles against Alabama in your past at LSU. I recall the post-game 2002 in Baton Rouge. I'm wondering what your impressions were of Alabama when you were there and since then.
How come you only bring up the game you won? We won 4. No, that was a very good football team that Alabama had that year. And, like always, it's unfortunate when things get posted that aren't true. I never said anything bad about the University of Alabama after the Kentucky game, and or anything like that, and that was the motivating factor for their team. I think they had a better team than us, and they certainly played well that day and beat us, and I think Coach Fran is an outstanding coach and did a very good job here to win 10 games with that team. But it's unfortunate that things that are rumor and innuendo and maybe aren't true, once they get out, you can't control them, even if they aren't true, and it affects people's relationship. I think that's unfortunate.